Boy, oh boy, talk about confusion. Now we have transgender teenager who was a girl, then became a boy, but then wanted to wrestle, and so wrestled with the girls, and because he or she or it had been taking testosterone, won at the wrestling championship. This is pretty crazy. You know, we hear these kind of stories and we think, oh, well, that's interesting, or our society is so much to accept it. And yet, this is absolutely against the Bible. Why does that matter? Well, because God gave us instructions on how to live successfully, how to have a great life, how to have joy and peace and prosperity, and yet we continue to bow to these kind of things that creates incredible confusion. And I think the parents are much to blame. Society is much to blame because we don't stand on the Word of God. Well, this is according to the dailymail.com. They say if it means wrestling with the boys, I'll do it. Transgender teenage boy who won the girls' wrestling championship hits back at critics, saying he will gladly take on boys if the rules are changed. Mac Beggs won the girls' 110-pound championship in Euless, Texas on Saturday amid controversy. The 17-year-old began taking steroids in 2015 to transition from a female to a male. Parents in the district say it is unsafe for the other girls to compete against him or her or whatever this person is now. A transgender teenager who caused controversy when he or she won a state girls wrestling title has hit back at his critics, saying he would be happy to fight boys if the rules allowed him to do so. Mac Beggs, a 17-year-old from Euless, Texas, has been taking steroids as part of his transition from female to male since late 2015. He told ESPN's Outside the Lines that it makes more sense for him to fight boys, but said University Interscholastic League rules stipulate that wrestlers must compete according to the gender of their birth certificate. This just makes sense. All you have to do is take a little DNA test, and it'll tell you, do you have an X and a Y, or do you have two X's? It's really that simple. If you have two X's, you're a girl. If you have an X and a Y, you're a boy. All right. There's none of this confusion that I don't know what I am. I'm not sure if I'm a girl. I'm not sure if I'm a boy. That is just the devil telling us tricks. That's the devil making us look stupid. God made some people men, some people female. Okay. Men, women. Right. In the beginning, he made man and he made them male and female. He didn't make an other category. He didn't mean maybe a maybe or you kind of figure it out. That is something that's given to you by birth. Now, there are a very, 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 very small amount of defects where you have extra chromosomes in there, extra sex chromosomes. But hey, let's do a sample now. Let's actually go and see, is your whole gender actually screwed up, or is it just you have these societal ideas that you can become this or that? In most cases, it's people are just confused. They're not sure what they want to be. And so they think if I were just something else, I'd be so much happier. But that's the human condition. That's how we've been for thousands of years now. If I could only be a millionaire, if I could only be a billionaire, if I could only be a trillionaire, right? Or if I only lived on the other side of the tracks, if I only lived on the other side of the river, if I were only taller, if I were only shorter, if I had blonde hair, if I had black hair, right? If I had white skin or dark skin, blue eyes or brown eyes, or whatever, it's always something other that we want. And we're not satisfied with who we are, where we are. And so now we just have one more opportunity to push the lines and to say, you don't have to even be a boy, you can now be a girl. And it's causing incredible confusion for people around the world. Not only for the rest of us that have to read this stuff, but for the very people that are making these very poor decisions. They're being affected by this because society says it's okay. Well, he goes on to say he would welcome a change of the rules if it permitted him to wrestle boys next year. It's not like I'm just doing this because I want to call myself a boy and just dominate all these girls, he said. What do I get out of that? I don't get anything out of that. He added, boys wrestling is hard. It's really, really hard. But I'll do it. If it means wrestling with the guys, I'll do it. It doesn't invalidate how I wrestle and how my technique is. If I get beat, I get beat. I just didn't train hard enough. I didn't work hard enough. Max said he was unaffected by the booing during Saturday's contest for the 110-pound championship, which marked the end of an undefeated season for Mac, a Euless Trinity Jr. Yeah. Well, yeah, not surprising. Here you have And now a boy who's been taking testosterone, but he used to be a girl. He said, if you're going to be negative, whatever, that's not going to faze me. His comments come after Mac faced opposition from other competitors' parents who tried to prevent him from participating in the match. Well, of course, hey, I have a girl. This used to be a girl, but it's like taking steroids, right? This is an unfair advantage for a girl to take testosterone. That makes you into a boy, sort of, not completely, but that's an unfair advantage. It's just not how it's supposed to be, right? Guys aren't supposed to fight against girls, right? Because guys are generally stronger. That's just how God made us. Doesn't make us better, just makes us stronger, right? And that's why we have male competitions and female competitions. We don't have an other competition. We don't have some other category. There's only two, male or female. That's it. And so he says, a girl he was due to wrestle at the weekend forfeited amid claims from parents that it was unsafe for her to wrestle the transgender teenager who they claim is getting an unfair advantage by taking steroids. Well, basically that's the case. One parent has even launched a lawsuit against the league claiming it is putting girls at risk of imminent threat of bodily harm by allowing Mac to remain in the 110-pound weight class. Jim Baudouin, a local parent and lawyer who filed the lawsuit against the league, told DailyMail.com on Sunday he was not trying to get in Mac's way, but insisted he had an unfair advantage over the girls in this category. Well, yeah, not surprising, right? I mean, this is just quite, it's insane. He insisted he was not trying to stop the teenager from competing, but believes the league should allow him to compete with the boys. I know this kid. I like him. I like her. See, he can't even decide. Believe me, I like to help her however I can. Well, at least he's got the gender correct. Mac's grandmother, Nancy, said the forfeiture was about nothing more than hatred and that youngsters were willing to take each other on before the parents meddled. Today was about bias, hatred, and ignorance. Guys, this is a quote. These kids have wrestled each other before. They know each other, and they were not happy with this. She said, she told Sports Day. While the use of steroids to advance performance in wrestling is not allowed, the league makes provisions for students who have been prescribed them by doctors. Well, again, this is just absolute nonsense because we're allowing ourselves to be confused. We're allowing ourselves to believe these lies that you can be born a girl but decide that in your heart you're really a boy. It's nonsense. We should encourage our kids, you are a boy, you are a girl. And you know what? We should really appreciate the distinctions between men and women. We should really appreciate those. All right. Now, I know that we've come to maybe some better ways, but maybe they're not all better. Maybe it's good for the man to work hard and the woman to take care of the kids. It kind of makes sense. Women have some parts that guys don't have that really helps them when it comes to breastfeeding. And it turns out that breastfeeding is the absolute best thing you can do for a little child. And the man just doesn't have the hardware, but the woman does. A woman was created, designed to have babies, to carry them in her womb. Not guys. And we shouldn't go tinkering, trying to say, well, we can make it better. Why not just leave good enough alone? God made women the way they are. He made men the way they are. And let's enjoy and appreciate those differences and say, I'm a guy and I'm tough. And you can say, I'm a woman and I'm happy to be this way. Just be that way. But don't try to cross the lines. Don't try to cross over. Be who God made you, as He made you. Enjoy that. Relish in it. And don't try to cross over. Hey, stay in the Word, you guys. The Bible is the key to everything. Take care.